This is a topic that I know is very close to all of our hearts. It's proven itself to be part of the rich tapestry of Australian identity, and I want you to know that I'm going to deal with this topic very carefully. So the mushroom lady... If you don't know who the mushroom lady is, the mushroom lady, or the mushroom killer, if you know by a Christian name, she's alleged to have poisoned her in-laws to death. I say alleged, but the trial ended last week and she was found guilty, but she's still got 28 days to appeal. So it was revealed in the trial that she had foraged for these mushrooms, poisonous mushrooms. They're called death cap mushrooms. And then she bought a food dehydrator, which ended up being a very important detail in the case. She used this dehydrator to prepare the mushrooms, which she then cooked into several beef Wellingtons and then served to her in-laws. I want to acknowledge that 3 people died in the course of this. So I'd also like to acknowledge that cooking a beef Wellington is really hard. It is so hard. She cooked 5. Like, you've got to get the meat just right, the pastry has to be crispy. She sourced local ingredients and she was using a new recipe. Like, even the judge was like, you made a lot of mistakes. Well, it's a difficult dish. The thing that struck me most about the mushroom lady is how much they've humanized her, to the point that she has overshadowed the victims of the like, every day there was a new detail. Like, our investigation showed she picked up her children from school and sometimes made her husband laugh. And we were all like, I do that. I can't help but to know, as an Arab man, I would never get this kind of coverage. Why people, and this is the wrong audience for this, you guys get such cool nicknames when you kill people. Like the Grim Reaper, you know, the Mushroom Killer. No matter how many mushrooms I used to kill someone, I would still be a terrorist. We romanticize serial killers in our culture. She's got a drama series coming. Ted Bundy has a movie. There's no Osama bin Laden biopic played by Zac Efron. Yeah. And we romanticize serial killers to the point they become attractive. I've got some friends, women especially, who just have a sickly love for true crime, just watching Hours at Night Getting Hot and Heavy. He was the perfect husband. Ooh. Until he murdered his wife. Ooh. I asked one of my friends, I'm like, why do you find Ted Bundy so attractive? He's like, I don't know, he's just so charismatic. Like he's good looking and he's articulate. He represented himself in court. I'm like, so did Saddam Hussein, the leader of the Iraqi people, who eventually went into hiding, but no one was like, ooh, you sexy little Arab cave rat. Like, I think a big part of that is because Arabs are always shown as ugly in the news, even if we commit crime. Like, every terrorist you see is just the ugliest. Like, there's never like a cute one. Like, no one's ever like, that's vile behavior, but beautiful eyes, though. Like, you know, like, that's an alluring Abdul. I want to reclaim Arab beauty. Like, if I was the leader of a terrorist organization, I'm not saying I'm just like, we don't know where our lives take us. If I was the leader, I would call us handsome Hamas, because it would be like a little ideological, like, no matter how ugly they tried to make us, the IDF would have to be like, we have captured 25 operatives of handsome Hamas. Like, you guys, you get to be cool killers. I can only be one kind of bad. You guys, you can be anything. I'm saying I don't want to be a terrorist anymore. I just want to be a murderer. Like you guys. Like, I could never be a school shooter. I'm just saying, I couldn't, even if I tried, they'd be like, what's his name? Khalid Khalafallah? Yeah, that's not a school shooter. We've got a category for that guy. Like, even if I ran through the hallways with a semi-automatic weapon, people would be like, is this about Israel? I'd be like, no, it's about Brandon. Like, I don't like him specifically. Why's my shit political? And gun violence is a really big deal in the US at the moment. Like 50,000 people died in 1 year from gun violence, and less than 0.5% of the perpetrators were Arab or Muslim. Just last week, there was a shooting in a Georgian mall and 5 people died. And school shootings have become so normalized. I don't know if you heard about this. They were floating the idea of arming teachers. Terrible idea, but I do want to see those recruitment ads. They must be like army ads, dude, right? Do you like new challenges? Do you want to protect our national interests? Go, go, go. Then join Ferndale Elementary as an early learning teacher, or the students of today are the threats of tomorrow. We need a better definition for terrorism. It's too vague. We can apply it anywhere we like right now. And this is where we choose to apply it. Brown people are terrorists, and white violence is mental illness. Or it's just necessary. There was a 12-year-old kid, he was a Palestinian kid, and he threw a rock at an Israeli tank, and then they shot him in the head. And then later, one of the IDF commanders was like, I knew he was 12 years old, but he's still a terrorist. He's not Hamas now, but we all know what he's going to grow up to be. And then later in a poll, an Israeli university found 84% of Israelis believe that there are no innocent people in Gaza. The word terrorist is so entrenched in our culture, I can't even deny being a terrorist without legitimizing the possibility. This woman after a gig, bless her soul, I know that she meant this sincerely, but she must have been touched by something that had happened overseas. She grabbed both of my hands and she looked me directly in the eyes and she said, "You are not a terrorist." I know. What? Why was that on the table? Like, I don't know. Look, I know some people tonight are going to be like, "Nah, I don't like what you said." Like, just yesterday, this dude came up to me and he was like, "I hated everything that you said, man. Some of the things you're saying were actually not okay." And normally I don't give people that time and space, but in this account, I was like, you know what? I want to know, what is it exactly that you don't like about what I was saying? And he was like, "You're being dishonest. You know that the word terrorist needs to exist to describe a kind of violence, because Arab violence and white violence is not the same. Arab people blow themselves up. White people don't do that. That is racially unique. Racially unique. Let's talk about racially unique. For killing someone with a beef Wellington is the whitest thing I have ever heard of in my life. No Arab is cooking a beef Wellington. To use a Victorian era pastry as your murder weapon. No one in the IDF has died at the hands of a Hamas member cooking a beef Wellington in the tunnels. I think it's time we admit white people are culinary terrorists. And I know what's radicalizing you. It's MasterChef. I don't believe white people are terrorists. The point I'm making is we're either all terrorists or none of us are. And I don't blame you with what the media feeds you if you sometimes see a Muslim or an Arab dude and think this guy's a terrorist. I'm embarrassed to admit I watch the same news you guys watch, and I sometimes think the same way. I was in a Kmart the other day and there was a group of white kids walking past a dehydrator watching Gordon Ramsay clips, and they're not cooks now, but we all know what they're going to grow up to be.